Hi everyone and welcome to Bear Clooney Watches channel. I am Bear Clooney, this is my cave, and on this channel we usually search for a perfect timepiece. Today slightly different video. Let me start first apologizing for lack of content on my channel for the last couple of weeks. What can I say? Life gets busy and priorities are different. Creating videos for the YouTube channel was certainly not on the top of my priority list in the last couple of weeks, but nevertheless, I'm back and I will be working on a couple of videos this weekend. And this channel will continue. Together, we will continue our search for perfect timepiece. Now, what's new in my horology world? I have acquired two interesting pieces and added to my collection Panerai PAM 312. That would be the first Panerai I ever owned. And it was just that Panerai as a brand was intriguing to me, and I found that at this point, at this time, it's a relatively soft brand, so it is a buyer's market when it comes to Panerai as a brand. So I kind of took advantage of it and I did not regret it. I am certainly enjoying that timepiece, and the video presenting it will be coming soon. I kind of did a little short clip on it, just showing you and letting you know what's coming up. The other interesting timepiece that joined my collection is Chopard Mille Miglia, which is a bit of a surprise for me. From the perspective of quality, it offers exceptionally done finish, movement, truly nicely decorated, and a watch that can deservingly stand in a line of quality luxury timepieces. So obviously I'll be working on that timepiece as well. What I do when I acquire a timepiece and when I add certain watch to my collection, I like to experience it. I like to learn more about it, and that's when I kind of came to conclusion what type of watch enthusiast, watch collector I really am. You see, I was wondering, what is it about me and my appeal towards certain brands and certain watches? And I came to conclusion that I am mostly attracted to story, to history behind the watch. I do love reflecting on heritage of the watch and having the DNA of its heritage in the modern timepiece. I'm personally not fan of vintage timepieces. I find them inadequate for modern time, but I do like when they reflect in a modern timepiece. The other reason I'm not into vintage pieces as well is because it's a minefield, and I find that entering that minefield requires significantly higher knowledge than what I have when it comes to vintage horology. The other thing that is very appealing to me is aesthetics. I love watches that are impressive in its finish. And I find that that is something that continuously follows me in the collecting watches and building my collection. So other question that was triggered by Austin Daniels video, where he questions himself if he was and he is Rolex fanboy. Considering that my collection is definitely heavy on Rolex and very Rolex centered, there is definitely potential that I have elements of the Rolex fanboy. However, I don't think I am, for the simple reasons that I can appreciate other brands and other watches, and I can see the beauty in them. I can really enjoy them. It just happens that Rolex hits the most, let's call it, love points for me personally, and appeals to me the most from what my interests and my tastes are. So I was wondering, do you ever ask yourself what kind of watch enthusiast, what kind of collector, watch collector you are? Why are you the way you are? What do you think contributes to our psyche, to our approach, to the way we are looking at things, including that watch collecting? To begin, it's interesting to discuss why do we become watch enthusiasts? What is it that brings us toward it? And I often ask that myself. I kind of think that partially for me it has to do with love for engineering, love for machinery, for the small machines that are very capable and functional. I remember when I was a kid playing with small train engines, and always being so impressed with the micromechanics. And then steel and creation in steel, artistic expression in steel, and beauty of the metal is another component that always followed me. Probably that's why I enjoyed collecting Japanese swords and found the beauty in folded steel and so on. So I think it's kind of the way we evolve in our perceptions of the art, perceptions of the beauty around ourselves, and the way we comprehend beauty around us. So eventually we get somewhere, and some of us arrived at that watch appreciation, horology appreciation. So then you have the collectors who are more focused on movements, the beauty of the movement, the beauty of the actually heart of the watch. There are those that are more focused on the vintage pieces. They'll have history behind it. They're more into the originality of the pieces. There are us who are more into a story behind the watch, DNA of heritage, and aesthetics of the watch. So, it's an interesting world. And it's never really conclusive. I think we, as watch enthusiasts and watch collectors, continuously evolve. Therefore, we are ultimately reflecting that process of us evolving in our collections. If you ask me, let's say 10 years ago, will you actually appreciate the latest acquisition, the Chopard Mille Miglia? I would say, are you kidding me? But now, I mean, just discovering about the interesting race that goes around the Rome. And in that race, we have most beautiful racing cars with such an Art Deco look, and this almost surreal picture of these beautiful Art Deco looking sport cars racing around Rome. And then watch that kind of is associated with it. It's just something that at this point in my life intrigues me. I like to read about it. I like to discover more about it. I like to know everything there is to know about it. So it's not just a watch. It's not just a movement. It's not accuracy. It's everything that that watch represents. It is a story. And I think that's exactly what kind of collector, or rather watch enthusiast, I really am. So what's coming up on the channel? Well, obviously, I am going to do a presentation of some new watches in my collection, and all in purpose of search for so-called perfect timepiece. But I decided to do more videos like this, where I'm actually going to share some of my thoughts and basically talk to you, just as I do with my friends in real life when we discuss various subjects from horology world. I also spend quite a bit of a time in our Facebook group, Horology Talk, and it does give me certain ideas that I could bring up on the channel. There are some really knowledgeable, really interesting people in the group. There is definitely interesting subjects that can be brought up to a wider audience that are just not part of our Horology Talk group and doesn't want to be for whatever reason. So that's something I am looking into as well. Basically sharing my experience as the person who loves watches, person who loves communicating with other watch enthusiasts, and just contributing to our horology world. That's it for today. I hope you kind of enjoy this video. Wristwatch check for the end. I am wearing a Sumo, Seiko Sumo. It is green bezel, green dial, limited edition. I love this watch. It's been for about a week now, 2 weeks actually. I was on a Seiko diver kick, and once again Seiko proves to me their great ability to achieve phenomenal quality at really value prices. It's just so cool, so cool. The other brand that I'm intrigued lately with is Longinus. Looking at some pieces that they produce from their heritage line, found them to be beautiful, and they are intriguing me as well. So I'll be looking into that in the near future as well. So that's it. I mean, maybe a bit of a hectic video. Who cares? It's a conversation between us, friends. Thank you so much for not giving up on Bear Clooney. Thank you for revisiting my channel. Let me know what type of watch enthusiast you are. Let me know what type of collector you are. What brought you to collecting watches? Why do you love them? What is your collecting philosophy? I would like to know it all. I know I'm a small channel. I know I don't get that many views, but from you loyal viewers, I'd like to hear a little more. Thank you again and have a wonderful day. All the best to all of you.